BBC Radio Devon.
Merv Burd is here again, appropriately enough. Merv is from Tiverton, but Merv, actually, you grew up round here. In fact, in 1956, if you don't mind giving a little bit of your age away, you remember being pretty much on this spot when Queen Elizabeth II came here to commemorate an anniversary for what was then the Forestry Commission planting its millionth acre of forest.
That's right, that is, and good morning to John back in the studio too, by the way, and
morning,
everyone there. But good morning, and you can be in the studio having a cup of coffee this morning, but no, we're in Hilltown here at Eggesford in 1956. Yes, you're right, Michael. I was here, I was very much in long socks and short trousers because I was down from Hayward School. And yes, in 1956, when the Queen came to unveil the granite stone just away from where we are at this moment in time. Quite an experience.
It is beautiful down there, Merv. What was it like growing up around there?
Well, you know, when you heard me before, John, it's a proper job down here back in the woods, and coming back home here for me, you see, I didn't have to find an excuse to be here this morning. When James called me a couple of days ago, I was right in there, and I'm right here now, and it's just so beautiful, and I enjoy the woods so much.
What we got around us, Merv, at the moment? We got pines, or we got the deciduous? What have we got?
Yeah, we got the pine trees around us. We've also got interspersed with other trees, of course, as well. But there's mainly the pine that we can see from where we're standing.
And those birds, I know you are a bird yourself. They are making some beautiful noises this morning. And
I'm not singing half as sweetly as what they are this morning. No.
You sound sweet to me, Merv. So when you were younger, did you used to go for a wander, play in those woods?
Well, yes, because we used to live, you see, at the forest called Chalices. We lived there in one of the forestry cottages because my dad Leslie, he worked for what was then the Forestry Commission for some over 45 years. And of course, living there at Chalices, that was our playground. That was the place that we went climbing trees. That was the place that we would climb one tree because back in the days when they were fairly close together, you could swing them and you could swing from one tree to the other, especially the larch. Yeah, some wonderful times. Hide and seek was one of it, but of course there was other games we played as children there too.
The first woodland as well to be planted by Forestry England in 1919 as well, after the Forestry Act. So it's got a bit of history to it as well.
It has indeed. In actual fact, the precise date was on the 8th of December 1919 that the first trees were planted at Flashdown, not too far away from where we stood at the moment, quite near to Hayward School, as it was back in those days.
And the Queen's been there as well. There's a stone, isn't there, that she unveiled?
There is, at Flashdown, there's a stone unveiled there too, celebrating the 100 years of the trees being planted, and that was back in 2019.
You look after Michael Checker for us for an hour, and we'll be back with you to have another chat. And well, I've got to say, just happy International Day of Forests, Merv.
Thank you, and we shall have a happy time here too.
BBC Radio Devon.
Slightly soggy here this morning. I can get back to the path we've been following and that we've been walking along. Been finding all sorts of signs of nature. There were tracks of deer where they come down from the woodland to get to the stream as well. But Sean and Merv are both still here as well. Sean Woodward, who's a community ranger with Forestry England, we'll come to in a second. But Merv Burd, who's from Tiverton but grew up round here. But Merv, when we suggested coming back to celebrate forest, we couldn't hold you back, could we?
I was here before you.
You played here, you grew up here as a boy, you swung from the trees. You've been told by Sean you get into trouble if you did that these days, so don't even think about it. But what does it mean to come back somewhere like this, which is so many fond memories for you as a child?
There is fond memories. The memories go right back to those childhood days and actually attending Hayward School. I was touching on that just now in our conversations as we walked along. I remember leaving Chalices, that's one of the forests, making my way down through to Hain Forest and then into Flashdown. It was forest path all the way to get into Hayward School and all the way home.
And of course you felt at home here because your dad was a forester.
He was indeed for over 45 some years. And I believe I said earlier that I remember the days when I see timber pulled out by horse. But Father, he had this big tractor called a Ford County, and other good tractors are available, by the way. But a Ford County tractor with large wheels on the front and large at the back end, sort of thing. And I can see him pulling out the timber, as well as using ordinary saws and moving to chainsaws. I can remember all the history there.
BBC Radio Devon.